We're about a month into the school year now, and if you've got a high schooler at home, you might already be feeling that low hum of panic. Test scores, deadlines, financial aid forms you haven't looked at yet. Today, I'm sitting down with Neha Gupta, founder of College Shortcuts, who has spent nearly 2 decades walking families through this exact season. We're talking about what actually matters right now and what you can let go of. Let's get into it. Hey there, and thanks for joining us for Houston Moms in the Middle. I'm Brandi, one of the co-owners of Houston Moms, and we are moms just like you, trying to navigate all the challenges parenting throws at us, especially as our kids hit the teen and tween years. If there's a topic you want us to tackle, let me know. You can email me at Brandi with an I at HoustonMom.com. That's Brandi at HoustonMom.com. Okay, let's bring in our guest, Neha Gupta, founder of College Shortcuts. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Brandi. Glad to be here.
Let's kind of set the foundation here. What is College Shortcuts?
So College Shortcuts is a company I started over 20 years ago. What we specialize in is helping families navigate how to help their student really build the skills they need to succeed in the real world. We also help students with finding their passion and interest by bringing in the mentors that match their interests. And then in the end, really understanding how to build a personal brand and applying for colleges. So it's really a start to finish. We also do assist with tutoring, test prep, and also with private school entrance. When I first started in Houston, I went to over 1,000 homes tutoring. And so we started off that way. And then I started to build my team. And now we have a team of people across the U.S. that work with our students.
As a parent, that sounds like a lot, because when I applied for college, it didn't look like it does today. Can you, for someone who hasn't been through this process in, say, 20 years, 30 years, how has it changed? I mean, step one, everything's digital now, and everything back then was on paper.
Yes. My husband went to Cornell, and he shares that he handwrote his applications, and he remembers, because he's a bit of a procrastinator, but he remembers mailing them and handing them into the post office for his application. Today, yes, everything is digital. I went to UPenn, actually, the same program that I went to, the founder of Common App also went to build that portal so that students don't have to handwrite everything. So now everything is digital. You've got the Common App. For Texas, you have the Apply Texas system. California has the California system applications. And so, yes, everything is digital. I think the second part that is completely different than when most people applied, most of the parents that are listening, is that when they applied, what was typically expected was, an average or good GPA, an average or good SAT, which at that time was around maybe like an 1150, 1200 to maybe a 1400 was considered an average score for most colleges. Also, what was expected is, hey, you've got time, maybe do 1 or 2 clubs that you might be interested in at school and join a sport, because you should have time for that. And then, of course, make some impact in your local community. And if you don't know what you want to do, that's what college is for. That was the expectation for any top 25 college. Now, if you want my honest opinion, I wish it was still the same. I am saddened by how competitive this process has gotten. And at the same time, I also understand why the process has changed. Because we're now in the information age where students have access to courses online. They have access to YouTube. There are all these incredible summer programs and internships that they can be involved in and projects they can work on. The expectation has shifted from the typical things that you did to get in. And so now the term that you see a lot online is the spiky student. When they say they want to build a diverse freshman class, they aren't looking for a bunch of well-rounded students. It's a well-rounded class of a bunch of spiky people. So they're looking through, let's say, the state of Texas, and they're like, okay, who's going to be our best oboe player? Okay, who is the top soccer player? Currently working with one of them out of Audi. Who is, the student that is going to be really passionate about medicine, and they've really, done research, or maybe they have a personalized project around their passion around female health, and they've, maybe built a movement where they sent female hygiene kits to Africa because they realized that half the population can't go to school because they don't have hygiene products. So they're looking for those builders and change makers.
These are things I think of as like a senior in college capstone project. but they're now expectations for high school students.
Yes. The way to look at admissions today is as if you are applying for a job and your major needs to be proven with evidence that that is what you are already practicing.
Wow. What about for students who haven't made that decision, who maybe haven't even explored the idea of college yet? We have a lot of conversation about trade schools and the value there right now. Like, how do you talk to parents about the value of higher education?
So I don't think college is for everyone. And I know that is antithesis to what I do. But when I've been in this for this long, I think there's a certain group of students that don't need to go to college. I think that trade school is great for a lot of families. You have to find what actually makes sense for your family financially and for your child specifically. I do believe that regardless of the choice of going to college or not, what truly matters, in my opinion, is, are you able to sound intelligent when you speak? Can you effectively write? And do you have a strong network? College helps to build a lot of that for families. You know, I'm a graduate of Rice University. I also went to Episcopal. My sister went to St. John's. I went to ROB. I mean, I've grown up going to so many incredible schools in Houston. If push comes to shove and something happens to college shortcuts, I have a network in which I can make a few calls and I could probably be okay. So a lot of people invest in college for that reason. Second reason why people invest in college is if they're interested in going to be, doing jobs that require graduate school, like doctors, lawyers, these types of fields that require undergrad as a degree. But, you can still go to trade school and make six figures. I mean, there's no question that there's always going to be a need for an effective electrician or people that do certain types of work. So I am not in disagreement with the parents that think, hey, I might want my kid to do something different. It's really about looking at the child and seeing what is the best thing for them. So I think that's really where my mindset is around college specifically. But for the families that are kind of pushing towards, a UT Austin, for example, which when we were applying, it was top 10% auto admit. Today, it's top 5%. I mean, that's insane. So for the families that are looking, and UT Austin's a great bang for your buck. I'm not going to question that. But if they're looking at these type of top schools, what we do at College Shortcuts is to help with that admissions advantage.
So I want to ask, a lot of times, especially in the Houston area, you hear about parents putting their kids in private school with the expectation that this is going to feed their child from a private school into, maybe one of those top 20 universities. But what you're seeing looks a little different.
I can tell you that at a private school level, 1 in 2 people are using an outside consultant and they're not telling you. That's number one. Number two, no longer is that the truth. Unfortunately, you can spend $45,000 a year in tuition for a private school, and they cannot be guaranteeing spots into Ivies or top universities like they used to. Now, a lot of them do have good relationships, but a lot of times they kind of fall for the ultra wealthy at that private school. Those relationships will go towards those students or athletes, or it could go specifically to, legacy students for those types of schools too. So it really depends. The number one thing that I've seen year after year is that private school counselors, and rightfully so I'm not knocking on any private school counselor, they are terrified of the parents. And the reason why, and why that job has high turnover, is because counselors burn out from the overall expectations that parents have. And so what happens is what they'd rather do is lower expectations. So all of a sudden, students are getting school lists that don't make any sense based on the student's demographic background, GPA, or test scores. They also know that if they lower the school list, the amount of scope of essays that have to be worked on is by 50% less than if they applied to Ivies or top schools. So when you're applying to 10 or 15 Ivies or top schools, you're looking at, on average, a 30 to 50 page Google Doc of essays. at minimum 45 to 80 essays.
Which I don't think parents, I certainly didn't realize this. I knew my especially my oldest, was working on a number of essays, but her application list was also very, very small. So I can't imagine just the sheer word count.
Yeah.
Of some of these.
It's like what we do, and I think this is why most parents don't understand why we have to charge what we charge, but it's because we are hand editing as editors, line by line. We are not using AI to edit a 50-page document, and let me clarify, of a teenager, not a novelist, but a teenager, to get the writing up to par. And I think we all can agree that teenage writing skills have plummeted in the last 10 years. So we have to do an even harder job to get what they're trying to say into actually what they should be saying for the admissions process.
For folks who want to learn more about college shortcuts or who are having light bulb moments during this conversation, how can they get in contact?
Yeah, so they can find me at collegeshortcuts.com. That's where they can actually schedule a call, learn more about our services. They're all on the website. I am prolific online in terms of social media. They can find me on Instagram at College Shortcuts or Facebook. We also are on YouTube. I've been posting videos for 12 years on YouTube with a lot of great information. We're also on TikTok. So those are all the multiple ways they can reach out. We also have a contact us page on our website.
Neha, thank you for your time. I'm going to drop a pin in it right here. We talked about so much more in this conversation. We're going to have to break it up into several different episodes because we want this all kind of digestible for you. But be sure to check in, subscribe to Houston Moms in the Middle, and watch for our next episode with Neha. For parents who are on this college journey, if you've got a kid in middle school, high school, these are worth every minute of your time. So we'll see you next week right here in the middle.